Welcome back to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community, everyone. I'm your host, Nico, and joining with me today, as always, my co-host, Chris. How you doing?
Hey, not too bad. How's it going?
I'm good. You're allowed to smoke on screen, Chris. It's okay.
I don't know. Through the introduction, why not?
We drink on
Keep it real.
not a PG-13 fucking show here. Right? Well, I guess are you allowed to show smoking in TV anymore? I don't think so, right? Like,
Well,
yeah.
I'm not sure I'm drinking either, but here we are.
Well, that's what I meant. I said PG-13, but even then, that was a little bit risque. You may have seen like half a titty, but but now, but today's standards, that's all changed. Who the fuck knows? You don't want someone to go complain about it. I was offended by this film. But welcome back, everybody. This is Comic Shop Talk. This is our weekly comic book review show. And 115 of these suckers we've done so far. So make sure to go check them out in our playlist here on the Late Night Collectors community, as well as some of the other content that we have here. We do other stuff. Also, you can follow us on Instagram at Late Night Collectors community. It's been pretty fun. Me and Chris have been posting our weekly, pickups every week now. And that's been good. This week, you kind of got a little bit of added commentary as we kind of gone through some of the covers, showed off what we got. So it gives you a little sneak peek of what we're going to be talking about on the show. And maybe some other times, some other goodies we may have picked up that may not make the cut, right? So it's really, really cool. Definitely check us out on Instagram. And then that's also a good way of being in the know for when these episodes do drop every week, because it's never on the same day. It's kind of whenever we can fit it in terms of our schedule and having read all the books. So, yeah, you can do that, or you can hit the notification bell on the YouTube here to be notified. It'll send you a notification of when these episodes do go out live. And thank you for checking this out. Like and subscribe, hit the thumbs up, all that good stuff. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. And this week we're going to be talking about the comics that came out on Valentine's Day this week, February 14th, 2024. This past week of comics. This is what we'll be talking about today. And as always, be forewarned. Spoiler warning, we are going to be talking about what happens in the book, showing off some of the art and all that good stuff. So if you're afraid of getting spoiled, you can always read your books and then come back and check it out. Or, just carry on. You might hear about something you weren't aware of. You might spoil it a bit, but it might get you interested in checking out the book, right? That's the way I look at it. So, and then also stay tuned, because after this, we're going to be going over the DC comic solicitations for May 2024, and maybe even taking a quick peek at the Image ones, because it looks like those are up there as well right now. So,
Nice.
so that's a lot of fun. That's kind of where we go through upcoming books that are coming out. Because in comics, you got to pre-order 2-3 months ahead of when things come out. So we take a quick peek at what's going to be coming out and give you our thoughts on maybe things we might be thinking of picking up. So it's always a fun time. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But Chris, that all being said.
All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, let's talk comics. You got a beer there. Nice.
Yeah. Let's talk some comics. I know it's been a couple of weeks. I was drinking liquor. You kept catching me when I ran out of beer, and I actually specifically kept one can for myself aside yesterday, because I didn't drink all my beer yesterday. So yeah, so there you go. That's how much this show means to me, guys. All right, this is where Chris is like, "Well, I have some bad news for you, there, buddy. This is my last episode. I'm out of here." All right. First up on the docket here, we got Fall of the House of X #2. And this is the cover. I think we both picked up the same cover.
Yeah.
Video this week. Yeah, Polaris cover, nice one. What'd you think of this, Chris?
I don't know. A lot goes on in this comic. I saw the preview. That was interesting there with Polaris coming in with the Brood on what's that? The Celestial's head. Was there one part where it was like just eating the station or something? Like, was she using her powers of magnetism to get the jaw going or something?
I think so, yeah.
And, but otherwise, I thought, like, if this whole comic was, more of just, her taking out that Bloom station or the Orcus station there with, Wolverine and Colossus kind of showing up. I don't know how they ended up there. I must have missed that somewhere in this, all the goings on. But then there's so much other stuff going on here too. Like, it's kind of just jumping around from story to story to story pretty quickly. And I think everything just seemed rushed. Like the stuff with freeing Krakoa or the tree guy or whatever. I thought, that just kind of came out of the blue. It's like, oh, Juggernaut's there. He's got a big gun. Boom, he shoots him. I wish they kind of just spent a bit more time on spreading out these stories. All this stuff took so long to get together. It just seemed to be rushed through at the end. I know they only got a few issues left, but I'm sure they could have planned this out a bit better. But otherwise, it is good action in here. That's one of the good things when story moves so quickly through here. There is a lot going on. And, like I say, I'm still loving the story and looking forward to more.
Yeah, to your point about some of the other stuff going on in this issue and some of the stuff, like, not
Well, that stuff with the Cyclops, too, where that, what's her name, just kind of, turns code or jumps ship onto the good side just out of the blue.
I didn't like specifically the Rogue and Gambit stuff in this
Yeah.
issue.
Another story I forgot about in there. Yeah, I had no idea what's going on with that Manifold and
yeah, but if you remember, Manifold was with that this is kind of spinning out of the other miniseries, the
Rogue and Gambit one, right?
Yeah, because Manifold was part of that storyline. So when they showed back up in this, like they hadn't skipped a beat and they're referring to how they had to run a mission. So I don't know if this is maybe because of some editorial issues or they didn't align all the books properly because like I don't know. I just kind of felt out of place a little bit in this issue, but everything else I was really digging. But that kind of I didn't love that whole part. That was a little confusing to me. I didn't love all that. And another thing too, the art was really good, but then in some parts looked a little rushed. Like it didn't seem like he had enough time to finish it because I don't know if you noticed, the art was a little loose in some spots and then really tight in others. Like you could tell, like there was even some scenes within the same panel of the scenes itself. Now I don't know if that was like an artistic choice. I don't think it was. I think he just was probably trying to rush this out because these are oversized issues, right? Because there were some panels where even in the panel, like even like with these the Orcus guys and stuff, when they were getting attacked in the space station, all of the pencils looked a little bit more loose and like not as tight and good looking as the rest of the scene. Like you saw Polaris in the background, and then it looked a little sloppy in certain areas. So I'm not to say like I really like the art. It's just you could tell that he had to kind of like rush certain parts of it out. There were certain pages, maybe they made changes last minute and he had to apply them. I don't know, but otherwise, yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff going on here. The Emma Frost stuff, the attack on the space station by Polaris, who's just like bloodthirsty in this, like kind of really taking her father's mantle, Magneto, there to kind of hard and throwing down. I thought in that moment, that felt like a very Magneto-ish moment, right? So yeah, I dug this for the most part. This is a really good issue. Just this Manifold stuff. I think it was out of place in this story. I don't know. Like, I'm sure obviously there's some significance to all this shit going on here, but it kind of confused me a little bit, to be honest with you, some of that stuff. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about this one. But otherwise, really good stuff. I'm still looking forward to the, but I think you're right. I think we called it. I don't know how much he's leaving himself on the table for the regular X-Men book. And then they've just gotten confirmation ahead of the solicits that I sent you the article that in May, all of the fucking X books are ending, along with Wolverine 50, as we predicted, with the end of the Sabretooth War thing. So it seems like a few of those other titles have storylines that aren't really tying into the wrap up of this Krakoa stuff whatsoever. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're their own final stories that they're telling. Maybe they'll find a way to wrap that into the end, but that Wolverine Sabretooth stuff, but like it seems like it's off in its own corner right now being told, which I'm fine with personally.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah. What'd you give this?
I'll give this a 4. I thought that's still a good story that I'm digging.
Yes, 4 out of 5. Yeah, absolutely. Next up we got Batman 143.
I didn't get my DC didn't come in this week, so I don't have my copy, but I did read this one.
Yeah, it's weekly for the moment. What'd you think of this one?
I liked it better than the last one, but still the timelines that are going on. Like I thought this, with the whole city kind of turning into Joker, I thought that was like a previous storyline. But then at the end where Selina shows up and the whole Bat family is all in jail at the end or something, and they're all sort of Jokerized. I thought that means it's going on in the present then. Like this is running through different timelines. Am I right about that? Or
yes, I think the start, like this Jokerized city stuff, is happening either in the present day or a future setting. I don't think that has to, and the other stuff, this stuff with Gordon and him investigating the Joker for the first time, and him meeting one of the people that trained him. That's all
Yeah,
happening
that's all in the past.
first year as Batman. Yeah, exactly. Hence the Joker year one, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is all in the past of him becoming Batman. And you're right. And I'm guessing because of the way Selena looks in there, that might even be in the future. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because she didn't really look like she normally does. She looked a little older in that scene. That they
A little bit like the Black Cat.
yeah. And then also like the look that he chose to make Batman kind of looked like a Michael Keaton type of Batman with the cowl itself kind of looked like it, like with the eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was kind of interesting. I think he was taking some style from the movies a little bit. But well, yeah, I agree with you. This was better than the first issue. What did you think about this whole? Because they kind of explained it finally in this issue. They kind of introduced him in the last issue, but they explained. Remember how I was like, this is kind of confusing last issue? They explained this guy's from the Night series in this issue.
Yeah, and I guess this is where Batman learned how to get that Zurar, whatever his name is.
Yes.
And I guess he's trying to teach that skill to the Joker. And
which is this is the first time I think they made that up. This whole idea of this is why there's 3 Jokers, which I thought was kind of clever because I don't think that was ever explained like up till now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, done stories with them. I don't think they've ever explained the reasoning behind it, but I think he was able to wrap it into his previous storyline by saying,
okay, so now that it's really still only one Joker, just 3 personalities. Is that what they're sort of getting at here?
Yes. Well, yes, exactly. Like that he was able to find in himself. But
yeah, like he kind of whatever squirreled away his different psyches.
But the way that they made it seem was that he mastered it so powerfully that I think like he was able to branch off with these different version of himself. You know what I mean? Like kind of how like Batman off against his own like Zur-En-Arrh kind of thing right now, even though that's a lot of that's been in his head and shit. I think this is like he's a level above in the sense that he was able to separate himself like into 3 different variations. Like I think that's what they were trying to get at a little. Yeah. These moments are creepy too, man. The way they're making it look in the art in these fucking moments.
Oh yeah, the art is like, especially when they kind of go from like this scene here where he's in the water. It's like a really kind of portrait type thing. They got him looking like Jesus here again. I was looking back at the last issue. There's almost a similar scene where he was, he's up on the where he was all tied up there on the cross. Yeah. And then, it kind of just goes back into the regular art. And I thought that was mixed very well. And
yes,
they do make the Joker look pretty creepy here.
Yes. Yeah. Because I know we were really worried with that last issue. And even me, myself, even though I was understanding where he's pulling some of those storylines from, not to say that this is like, still like the best thing out, but it is a much better improvement. And I think we're really getting into the story now, finally, after that first issue. And I think it helped that this was weekly, honestly, because like if they left us with a month for this and they kind of left us cold after last week's intro, I don't know how I'd be feeling about the return to this storyline. Right. So this has been kind of working in its favor, I think. It's moving fast. I think at this point, it's I think you kind of have to have it that way because it's telling 2 different versions of a story, like from different timelines too. Right. So, yeah, that was good. I'm just glad they explained who this fucking guy was, because the way they introduced him last issue, I'm like, are you guys not even gonna explain like who this guy is? Like, he's like, I trained him, and then this one they actually had like the little editor's note in Batman the Night. I was like, okay, now they're kind of explaining it, thankfully, right? But yeah, these are the 3 different versions here that he was able to like unlock of himself, right? The playful, like comedian type, the serious fucking like serial killer one, and then one that's kind of like just I guess like the smartest version of him. I don't know, but kind of interesting stuff. The art, I think that was all good. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with this comic. I liked it.
Yeah, that was cool. So what did you give this out of 5 then this week?
I might slip this up to a 4. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, after talking about it, I'll agree with you. Yeah, it was a 4. It's definitely a step up from last week. So, all right, next up we got Superior Spider-Man. Did you read that this week? You said or no?
Yeah, I think I read this one. I might have to put up some of the panels there, or if you have the art. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is where they're fighting in their sort of mindscape, I guess. What's Doc Ock is trying to get back into Spider-Man's body, and Peter Parker thinks he's set down some mental defense, I guess, against this somehow. And he just realizes that, I guess Otto Octavius has gone through this, so they have their big mind battle, and I thought it was interesting. It's not bad. It's better than what's going on in other Spider titles. Right now on ASM, but yeah, but it's okay. And then I guess they really talk about how Spider-Man's always better than Doc Ock, and I think at the end Doc Ock realizes that he's going to need Spider-Man to save his friend there, I guess, or whatever, that Anna Maria or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a nice trip down memory lane. You see a lot of different sort of Spider characters. I know Uncle Ben kind of they squeeze him in there somehow, but it sort of makes sense the way they go through it. So it's a fun comic.
Yeah, it looks like it's fun. Yeah, it looks like they're kind of playing around with some interesting things, and Bagley's definitely not phoning it in. He fucking drew like 1,000 fucking characters on a couple of those pages that I seen there.
Yeah.
like it's actually some pretty good Bagley art as far as I'm concerned from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I don't know. His art's still up and down for me. Like when he really wants, like when he does Spider-Man on its own or just a few characters that he's got to focus on, then it's okay. But if this was like a team here, poof, somehow it just didn't work, within some of his other stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't a bad issue, and I'd give this a 3.75. It's it's a fun series.
Nice. Okay. Next up, we got Creep Show, Joe Hill's Wolverton Station. Joe Hill, of course, famous horror writer, Stephen King's son. I guess this is based on maybe like a short story that he did, I'm guessing, or
yeah. I don't know. I did give it a read though too.
Oh, you read this? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So go ahead. What'd you think of this then?
Well, I don't know if there's any sort of, these are just kind of one-off stories. There's no history behind this or anything other than, I guess if you know.
Yeah.
But like, it's kind of wacky though. He gets on the train and it's full of these wolves, and like I don't know if this was just in his head or what's going on. And then while he's in the train, there's a wolf beside him. It kind of gives him the creep, so he goes to the back of the train, and those wolves are freaking chewing on somebody. And I guess this guy here, whatever, he's not the nicest person out there. They kind of lead him up or let it be known that he's a bit of a swindler and he's done some bad things, so he deserves whatever's coming to him.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. He's a movie memorabilia collector and kind of rips people off. And specifically, he likes like the Universal Monster movie type memorabilia and shit like that. So like when he finds out this guy has like some rare piece from like a wolf movie or something from that era, I guess that's kind of what makes him go out there to go visit him. And I think it's almost like the guy seemed like he kind of set him up to fail in this situation of sorts, like you said, because he's a bit of a swindler, because he kind of, he gets off the phone with them and he's got like a shit-eating grin on his face. And then meanwhile, Buddy goes to Wolverton Station, which I guess is in like England or something like that. It's like, this is English, I think, right? Like, right? Yeah. And then fucking all hell ensues with the fucking all the wolves on the train, right?
Yeah. So, why are there wolves all around I know it's just the city that he goes to, that's Wolverton, but whatever. I don't need any backstory. I don't need to read another 12-issue maxi series to talk about why these wolves are there. Hey, they're there. I like them. He gets him in the end.
Yeah, and it was great. It had great Michael Walsh art on it, who, of course, from Silver Coin, he was the artist on that, and they brought him in for this Creep Show one shot, which this is the first time they did like a full one shot of any of the Creep Show stories like they did, because the miniseries just concluded. So I don't know what kind of like why they decided to do this, but I was here for it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, this scene when the Buddy has his feet up on the thing and it's like, this fucking Saul guy, and it says fucking Saul. I think he has like an arrow like pointing to him, and he's like got his like feet up on it. I thought that was pretty sick. It was good. I really enjoyed this. Like you said, you just see him get fucking ripped apart by some wolves. He tries to like,
it goes to the washroom or something, and it's just freaking demoed inside there.
And even
but then again, these wolves can't go to first class or something. Like they do seem to follow some sort of rules.
Yeah, because where he's sitting, he's like sitting with a more distinguished wolf. It seems like he's like, I don't know if you want to go out there with those hooligans, and then and then it turns out, like, I guess the other wolves that end up killing him are like kind of like the British street punk type hooligan type wolves or something, right? Like kind of felt like, right? Like the soccer rioters type fucking guys, right? That's what it felt like to me. And yeah, even at the end though, he got all like pissed off and he's like, he thought he was gonna get away. He's like, that's it, I'm getting off of this stop. And he like grabbed his crotch. He's like, fuck you to the guy. Like I was talking to him, and then he jumps off the fucking train, and there's like a whole bunch of them waiting for him. I'm like, you fucking idiot. And just gets like eaten. Yeah, man, it was fun. It was fun for a one shot. And it was actually one of the stronger creep show stories I thought they told, but they were able to do it again in an oversized issue because the other ones are all kind of like much shorter, right? Because you got to put 2 stories in one issue. So this kind of got a little bit, got to play around a little bit more. Yeah, this is where he grabbed his crotch. He's like, buddy, I'm out of here. You know? And he's like, uh-oh. This guy just ripped the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Good stuff. What'd you give this out of 5?
Yeah, I guess it's a week of 4s here. Another 4.
Hey, yeah, 4. Next up, I got Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Did you read this, Chris?
No, I didn't get this. I didn't get to this one.
So I read this. I checked it out because I caught up recently on trade. We had talked about the Scarlet Witch series earlier on, like the first couple of issues of the show, and then I ended up picking up the trades of it because I heard it was good after we dropped it. And there's 2 trades out now. I think that collect like the first 10 or 12 issues or something like that. And it was a pretty good series, honestly. Steve Orlando, the writer of that series, has gone on now to write this mini series, I guess, as they concluded the main series. Which is, you know, what they got to do sometimes with these series. Like they like Jed McKay did with a bunch of the Black Cat miniseries, because unfortunately some of these characters, they can't sustain long running series. So they got to like fold them into different miniseries, new ones and new number 1s and shit like that. So this is kind of like a way to continue his story, I felt like. And I'm not actually usually a fan of his stuff, but I think he's got a good voice for this Scarlet Witch. And actually this story has been pretty interesting. So in this issue, Quicksilver, of course, her brother shows up, and like her identical twin, actually, I should say, brother, and he shows up, and they just get the news about how Magneto has died. So there's some connectivity to the shit that's been happening in X-Men with him having been dead right now, and I guess he left them like a package. And Scarlet Witch goes ahead and opens it, and then she starts to read a letter, and Quicksilver's kind of acting like he doesn't care, like they, oh yeah, because he's our adoptive, like we were his adopted kids. They're saying they changed the continuity a little bit over the years where he's not really their father. Like he's just like they had adopted them and all this. So he's just like, yeah, I don't really care about him. And Scarlet Witch reads it and she looks like all kind of sad and all that. All of a sudden she's like, okay, yeah, never mind. You don't need to read this then. And then Quicksilver starts pestering her. He's like, why? What did it say? Like, I need to know. Like, let me see it. Why won't you let me see it? And then it continues with like a great brother-sister kind of fight and like breakdown between the 2 characters. And he just gets pissed off and zooms the fuck off because he's like, fuck you then, right? Like you always, you do this shit and you know what I mean? Like, and then it comes out during the conversation how like he's always been afraid of her and like about her power. And like, he's like, what, you don't think that means I also respect you? And so a lot of stuff comes out through this conversation, which actually felt authentic to like a brotherly or brother-sister type relationship if you have siblings. And it just felt like kind of like a real argument that they got into as family. And he zooms off. When he goes to zoom off, somebody hits him with like some sort of like a sniper, like and a bullet. And the bullet makes him rise up into the air and like fly away from the earth, essentially, like going really fast. Like some guys that are dressed up that look like Fortnite characters for some reason. I don't know what that's all about, but they shoot him and he goes and starts flying off into the atmosphere. And then they are like communicating with somebody. Oh yeah, okay, we got him. And then it kind of you find out that the Wizard is the villain that is basically fucking around with everything right now going on with Scarlet Witch in this miniseries, it seems like. And these are all his men, I guess, that work for him. And then their next target after fucking up Quicksilver and making him like fly away, they're going for Scarlet Witch. So that's kind of where the issue ended. You kind of find out that he's behind some of this, and she kind of freaks out and goes up against him. And then they kind of leave off there with them in the middle of this fight. So good first issue. I think it's only like a 5 or 4 issue miniseries, probably 4 now because I think they're doing a lot of those. But I think it's worth checking out, and I'm probably going to pick up the trade of this. I don't know if I'm going to read the rest of it online or not. We'll see, depending on how big the week is. But I'll definitely continue picking up the trades of this series because I think it's been really good, and yeah, this is another. I think you can actually jump into this and not having read any of the other issues as well. I think it's a good place to jump in on because it has Quicksilver and it's referencing the thing about Magneto being dead. So I think it was like really accessible if you've been reading the X-Men stuff, especially. So yeah, 4 out of 5. Good stuff.
Nice.
Next up, we got the Deviant number 4. This issue. Did you read this week or no?
Yeah, I read the.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead then or?
Well, you can take the lead on this one. I think I missed the last issue, and mostly this one was, I guess, him kind of talking about or talking with the guy about some history. But I think there's a big reveal at the end. If
so
if that's what you think.
Yeah, so it opens up with him, like you see the writer of this comic that's been doing the investigation of this serial killer or the deviant guy that apparently did this to these kids, but we're finding out maybe was not responsible. You see a flashback of him, and I guess and his boyfriend dating a few years ago, and they kind of go outside of this club area, and he looks upon like this old, like I guess the building that what's his name? He went and killed all those people. The one
Dahmer, wasn't it?
Dahmer, yeah, because if you watch the Jeffrey Dahmer show, like for example, for a lot of people, maybe that's like the most commonly known like story now. If people have seen the show, like it talks about how he used to abduct men and stuff like that, like and take them back to, and like from the gay clubs and stuff like that. He would like, take them to his house thinking that something else is going to happen. Then he would kill them. So he's kind of like, hey, that building over there, that's where Jeffrey Dahmer used to take his victims. And he's like, you're so fucking weird. The guy's like, he's like, that's okay. Cause I am too. And seems like they're really into this serial killer shit, which is something you really haven't learned up to this point. So it kind of makes you think with the reveal at the end of this issue, oh, maybe there's something to what's happening here. Right. And then the rest of the issue, you see him interviewing that guy a little bit some more. And he says, okay, you're going to have to get really personal with some of the stuff that went down. If you really are saying you weren't the one responsible for killing those kids, I need to know about like, the fucked up shit you did do when you were kind of like, looking at these kids and stuff like that. He's like, you're going to have to talk about that because if not, then I can't continue doing these talks with you. And then he's like, yeah, okay. Then he gets attacked outside of the prison by the guy that he interviewed previous to this. That was a guy that got into a tangle with that dude. The reason that he's in jail, this guy arrested him. And then at the end, you get a flashback of what went down that night. And then at the end, the big reveal that Chris was referring to was there was a cop that they found more bodies of the department store in today's time, like in the present. And he went to go find the guy who just got his ass beat, the comic book writer, at the prison. He went to visit where he lives, and his boyfriend is there, and he's talking to him and getting him to talk about him and what they did the other day. Were you down in this area where this murder happened? And he's like, yeah, we were shopping that day. We did happen to pass by there. Then he opens up a closet and he's like, oh, I think I should get a lawyer. Don't you think I should get a lawyer? I probably shouldn't be answering your questions. Like, yeah, go ahead, call a lawyer. And as he's snooping around, he opens up a fucking closet and it looks like the murder fucking costume and everything for the guy. Full of blood and everything else is inside the closet at the end here. Now, whether or not these guys are actually the killer, if it's his boyfriend, if it's the writer, or if it's this guy, or if they're in together, we'll see. But he's kind of walks away and he's like, we'll be back later. I think you should call that lawyer now. And you walk away and then the guy kind of looks inside the closet and he sees that, right? But so it does not look good for these guys. I'll tell you that much, right?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. So what'd you give this issue?
Once again, the story's moving along and it's keeping it interesting too, so I'm gonna bump this up to a 4.
Damn, 4 out of 5. Yeah, it is building, and I think it's been really good. Next up, Transformers number 5, Chris, which unfortunately happens with this fucking book. I don't have the art prepared for it. And it's the nicest art usually out every week. We got different covers this week. You got the Daniel Warren Johnson. I got the James Stokoe. I'm a fan of both. I really like the Daniel Warren Johnson one too, but I had to go with the Stokoe cover. But go ahead. What'd you think of this issue here?
Yeah, what more can I say about this stuff? I've been loving the Transformers and the Duke stuff, and this one delivers yet again. It felt a bit more like sort of the Kirkman formula, let's say. There's a lot of good stuff going on, but there's a big reveal at the end that kind of hooks you in for the next issue. And it's just. I guess they're getting some more Transformers are getting back on or more, I guess, Decepticons and Autobots are kind of getting back on the board, so that's good to see. And just some funny scenes there. I think I don't know who was it. Soundwave was trying to tell Starscream on who to resurrect, and it's like a Soundwave wants to resurrect. I think it's a Rampage or one of those little cassette players, and he just kicks that cassette player right out of his hands. He goes, "We don't need cassette players, or we don't need small Decepticons. We need the big ones." And then at the end, you find out who they I guess brought back on the page there, and it's what's that? Yeah, Devastator. Yeah, the Constructicons. So that's fun to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, that's not sometimes the problem about these books that are always like firing at all cylinders is that you sometimes find you run out of things to really compliment them on because, yeah, this is just a great book. It's a lot of fun. This whole Energon universe stuff, we've been kind of giving it a lot of high praise here, and we've both been enjoying the books. And yeah, I mean, like, again, I'm gonna be sad after the next issue because then DWJ isn't drawing it anymore. But it sounds like they got a good artist coming on the book. I think it's George Corona who's done some good stuff. But
yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen some panels, but it looks like it's sort of done in the same style.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that much of a departure, so I think that's a good thing. And yeah, Daniel Warren Johnson's still writing it, so yeah. But I think I guess the big thing in this issue was, they kind of. They look after they kind of harvest the Decepticons harvest the one the one of their own to get power. They power up a bunch of them, and like you said, same thing. The Autobots are able to find a power source too in this. So like they've both grown their armies essentially in this issue, right? Which I thought was really exciting because, like you said, we get to see new people popping up by the end of the issue and throughout the issue and the Autobot side too, right? So, it's a step in the right direction, and they kind of solidified a little bit more of the story. Like that kid's dead. That kid's dead now. The kid, like he died. So like now the father.
He's dead.
That's what it looks like. He's dead. I mean, the way they're acting in this issue is that he's dead. I mean, that's all. This whole started when they're in the church together, or he's dying. I don't know, but
yeah, I thought he's just still in a coma or something in the hospital.
But in the hospital last time. But I think the way they're acting is that he's on death's door. I guess. Like, yeah, you're right. Maybe he isn't like totally dead yet, but he says, and then they kind of it's a nice moment between the two because then you get the flashbacks cutting back and forth of them being like, because they're both men of war type of thing. You know what I mean? Like Optimus war, and he's like, how long was yours? He's like, 4 years, a tour, 4 years. He's like, how about you? He's like, oh, from as long as I can remember or whatever. You know what I mean? We've been at war. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, it was kind of sick. I liked that whole scene at the start as well. So good stuff. What'd you give this?
I'll have to give it a 4.25. It's a little better than anything else I've been reading.
Got it. Yeah, we're on the same page today. 4.25. I was going to give it as well. All right, next up, we got Action Comics 1062 this week, continuing the Bizarro storyline by Jason Aaron. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I had this on my pull list, but sometimes they drop this stuff on me, so I hope they do because this is a great looking comic inside. And I think the story's pretty decent. The only thing I didn't like, not really, it's not because of the story, but the story with this where everybody's turning into Bizarros, and then you got in Batman, everybody's turning into Jokers. It's like, I know these aren't supposed to be in continuity with each other, but they always try and focus on that or try and keep a lid on it. And I don't mind that they're not in continuity, but continuity. But other than that, I think the story's great. I think Superman, he almost turns, but then, I guess through force of will, he turns himself back. I think there's a few moments when Lois almost turns. And it's just, kind of fun seeing all the people that are going against, I guess, their nature. The firemen are out there starting fires. And this has a pretty big reveal at the end as well, where, if everybody's opposite and he's got to find someone to help him out. You see him flying down to Gotham. I think, oh, maybe he's going to talk to Batman, but nope. He's going to find somebody else there. And I guess if everybody's Bizarro'd, the craziest man is the sanest man. So I'll see. It was fun to see where that might go.
Yeah, I think my favorite part about this is just the chaos that has ensued as a result of everybody operating opposite. Like instead of helping and doing their job to do shit that's positive and good, they're all like creating a mess and yeah, wreaking havoc as a result of it all becoming Bizarros, right? So that's my kind of favorite part of it, because like at its core, or even on the surface, this is a very kind of simple storyline. But then when you start to think of all the things that would be affected as a result of everyone becoming Bizarros, and kind of start picking that a little bit more apart and kind of analyzing it a little bit more, it's pretty fucking bad what could happen as a result, right? So, and I like the whole thing about the whole Batman Superman scene, where it's almost like Superman's stuck there in his own city. No one can even go in there without getting turned into a Bizarro, and Superman's struggling to kind of stay himself, right? And so like Batman, even like they communicate to each other at one point, and he's like, oh no, he's taking on too much. Like he needs help, and he's trying to he's like, no, don't worry about it. Like, you know what I mean? But like he's struggling, like he's really struggling to keep it together. And meanwhile, there's like a perimeter of the city of Metropolis now, like that people can't even go in there now past a certain point, or yeah, they will get turned in. So it's like he's all on his own. Like, so it's pretty, again, it's just the more you kind of pick it apart and unfold, and as the story unfolds, it actually has got some legs. And I thought it was going to be just a simple, stupid fucking Bizarro story at first, because that's kind of most of Bizarro stories for me.
Yeah, everybody turns into Bizarro. They all wake up the next day. It's nothing bad happened. But there should be fallout in the city after this happens. Like the city's getting freaking trashed again, it seems.
Yeah. So, and there's who he meets up with at the end. So I've never seen that iteration of that character. So yeah. No. What'd you give this?
I'll throw down a 4 for this one too.
Yeah, good stuff. Then I got a couple of books here that I read this week. Wesley Dodds' The Sandman, number 5. What do I got here? Yeah, so one more issue to go in this miniseries. This has been an enjoyable miniseries. I've really liked it. Again, I think the highlight of the series has been Riley Rossmo on art. Big fan of his artwork. But the story has been enjoyable too. As it was revealed last issue, we found out somebody that's part of the U.S. military is behind them trying to steal his notebook of secrets to make gas weaponry, essentially, like to kind of use his poisonous gas methods for their own use during the war. So he ends up going to the military base in this to kind of confront the guy who he has found out is responsible at the heart of all this stuff that's been happening to him in his own personal life. And he just kind of storms in and kind of throws down with him in this issue. And that's pretty much the gist of it. One more issue to wrap up with the next one. I guess we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, it's been an enjoyable series. I'm definitely going to pick up the trade. And I think it's a good introduction to this character with fantastic art by Riley Rossmo. If you guys aren't familiar with this version of the Sandman, like the Golden Age JSA type of version here that we have. So I give this a 3.75 out of 4. I'll just say a little bit shy of a 4 this week. Just because I don't think the story is as big or interesting as some of the other things we've talked about this week, but still very enjoyable by all means. Next up, we got Vengeance of the Moon Knight, number 2. This is continuing this mini series now that Jed MacKay has wrapped up his Moon Knight series. He's relaunched it as Vengeance of the Moon Knight, and apparently he has long-term plans for this series too, from what I've been hearing. So that, we'll see how that goes. And in the first issue, there was a whole back and forth, like whether or not this is him just being resurrected as he has many times before in the past, and if this is just him back again as Moon Knight. But all the clues point to this maybe somebody else in this costume. And by the end of it, we still don't know who it is, but they kind of keep the mystery going throughout this issue. And it doesn't seem that it doesn't seem like it's Mark Spector. So I'm not too sure who this version is. And it's a good issue of Tigra having these sessions with somebody, kind of like a psychiatrist, about her relationship with Mark over the years. Of course, they go back to like all the way to West Coast Avengers times and stuff like that. And kind of about how her life has been a train wreck. And like, this has been like the one relationship where it finally seems to have been working for once. And that's why he went off and died on her, because she says that everybody that she's gotten close to in her life, and she brings up a bunch of different incidents that have happened, I guess, through the comics, have ended up dying. So she's like, of course this ended up happening. And then she's like, that's why I know this isn't Mark. This guy wouldn't be here if this was Mark. Like, I've lost him and I don't know who this is. And so it was a really good art, stories building, a lot of intrigue, a lot of mystery going on here. And I kind of want to know who this is. If this is really, if this isn't a resurrected Mark in some other type of form, if this is somebody else entirely. Because Jed McKay has done a good job of keeping like the other cast of characters, this whole kind of Midnight Society or whatever the fuck he called them. That's like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? But whatever his group is, that these people that work for him in that house that are basically investigating supernatural incidents for him and stuff like that. I've grown to enjoy it through the other series because I've read this in trade too, this series. So yeah, good stuff, and I'm looking forward to see where this goes. I'll give this a 3.75 out of 5 as well. Then we got Thunderbolts number 3.
Ooh, I forgot about this.
Did you read this?
No, I didn't. I forgot this was out there. I wanted to read it.
So there's one more issue to go of this, and as you can see from the cover here, this is Thunderbolts versus American Kaiju. It's like just a big Kaiju monster that they get into a fight with this in this issue. And yeah, this has been again like just one and done stories each issue, with a larger overarching story of like leading to the takedown of the Red Skull, which they've kind of alluded to in the first issue. They thought they took him out, but it was somebody else that was portraying the Red Skull. That wasn't actually a Red Skull. And by the end of this issue, again, it kind of connects it to the next issue. Some events that concluded in this one that seem like it's going to be a final showdown against the Red Skull in the next one. Again, this is a 4-issue miniseries, though. I think it's been enjoyable. My one gripe about this series is that the art hasn't been great or consistent throughout, I felt. But not enough for me to be like, this is a terrible book. I actually think it's been fun. I've liked the characters in this. And this one, you get Shang-Chi, and Shang-Chi's actually working with the Thunderbolts to now bring in a U.S. agent. So he actually has to track down U.S. agent in this, and U.S. agent and Shang-Chi actually get into a scrap in this. So that was kind of fun. And then it kind of turned into this whole kaiju fight in the second half of the issue, between some of the other Thunderbolts members fighting this guy in the city. So again, just interesting, fun ideas, one and done type mission stuff. And if you like these characters, Winter Soldier, like I said, Shang-Chi in this one, U.S. Agent, like there's a lot of great characters in this form of the Thunderbolts. The only thing that sucks is that it's only a miniseries, and I wish that they can kind of did this as a ongoing, honestly, because I think it's been quite fun. So I'll give this a 3.75 out of 5 again. This one mainly for the art, because I think the story is a lot of fun. But there's some good panels. Like this is a good looking page, but then other times it's not great. I don't know. It looks a little muddied in certain areas, and I don't know if this is the same artist throughout all 3 issues. Because like last issue in particular, I thought it was really bad, and then this one I was not so bad, and I can't tell you whether or not it was different artists. I can't remember, but I don't know. It's just been inconsistent. I think the art. I think that's the main gripe I've had about this. But yeah, we'll see next issue. We'll find out what happens when they face off against the Red Skull. All right, Chris, Wolverine number 43.
Nope. I got my issue here. So a lot of flashback stuff here with, I guess, when Wolverine and Sabretooth were, I don't know what their team was, the Weapons X or something. And, it's not bad. Some good stuff there. It's always fun seeing them kind of when they're fighting as mercenaries. Other stuff going on in the issue. I guess all the Sabretooth variants, they seem to be sort of collapsing or turning on each other. That's always, I could see that coming a mile away. But one of the things here, why Sabretooth is trying to put the gears to Wolverine here, he just, the feeling I get, he just wants his old drinking buddy back. He's like, I'm going to fix Wolverine and get you back to where you were before.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say to you. He's in love with them. Like, it's like a bromance. No, really, like that, exactly what you said. Like, he's like pining for like the past times with him in this issue. Like, he's just like, I know why you're like this and you're miserable. It's because you're a fucking animal like I am, and you need to fucking
you want to be bad too. Like,
you want to be a bad guy. This is why you fucking go grumble around. I'm like, yeah, you know what? There's something to that. He's got a point. Like, he's just like, maybe, right? Like, he's just like, yeah, it's just funny because he puts him through all this anguish and pain just because he thinks that he should be hanging out with them again. Like, it's very ridiculous. I'm like, what is wrong? Like, it's like the strangest romance of all time. He's like, I'm gonna fucking torture you and your family and your friends.
Yeah.
And then there was this fucking weird thing where he's fucking putting fire in the box. Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, he's doing something there. I think he's reached out to somebody for help, I guess. But he's dead, but his powers are sort of alive. I don't know how they're twisting this out there, but I guess that's gonna throw a few kinks in the plan later on.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I'm glad that you also picked up on that because if you're like reading it, I was like, what the hell? I was like, what is this guy like? You know, he's like, he's sad that he can't be with Wolverine. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's in love with him. What the hell is this? Yeah, it's very.
Yeah, there's the stuff with the exiles too, but I'm not sure what was going on there. I like the stuff here between whatever that female Sabretooth and X-23. I think they're going to be thrown down in the next issue.
Yeah.
If the cover serves correctly or soon. Because I know one of the covers was sort of them, getting ready to battle. But
this double page spread,
yeah,
this was pretty fucking sick looking. Yeah. I mean, listen, it makes sense. I didn't expect it to go that way. But again, I think that's why this has been so enjoyable. I was like that's weird. But I mean, if you really want to get some more out of this 10-issue event, then you got to kind of put some other type of, you know what I mean? Like some
more content in here.
Yeah, not can't just be, I guess, 5 issues. Unfortunately, them just fighting, right? You got to have some other interesting things going on here, right? So, yeah, what'd you give this then?
I think I'll have to bump this up to a 4.25. I like this a little better than most of the other stuff today this week.
Hold on, let me take a look at what I got here. Yeah, I'll give it to it. Yeah, 4.25 as well. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, and then finally we got Amazing Spider-Man number 43, and me and Chris this week were like, "Fuck this JR covers. Let's get this sick here." Yeah.
We just like got Justin Mason or something.
Yeah. And
it seems to be this is his thing when he does covers. Like I think he has a Nightcrawler cover with the Banff and Nightcrawler's running around.
In a post that was circulating, I guess, because this was a pretty popular cover amongst the fans, saying that I think this was his first time he did an Amazing Spider-Man cover. So like this was, I guess, a big deal for him. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, very cool cover. But yeah, go ahead. What do you think about the contents inside there, Chris?
Yeah, the cover's great. I'll say that much. Freaking inside. What the hell is going on in this story? Like, I'm glad it's coming to an end, but they're going to have their battle at freaking Central Park, like lining up like it's a civil war, one side against the other side. And then then you have Spider-Man and his crew just kind of hanging back and decide to jump in. And then all the stuff they did with Tombstone, where he was saying, "Oh, I'm out of the game now. I've teamed up with Spider-Man, and once that's on the street, nobody will trust me ever again." And I guess he's had a change of heart. Like, it's nice. It's fun seeing the battles there between everybody. Like that. Is that the Digger, that green guy? I don't know. I'm kind of digging him, I guess. But this Blue Beetle, I'm not too crazy about her character. And this Mask character, I guess they tried to power up with some gloves or something. And I don't know. I'm just waiting for this to end.
Yeah. I mean, I was really high on the start of this event. I thought it could be really fun, dumb fun type stuff that they've done in this series before. And I'm hoping that Zeb Wall still has a little gas left in the tank here to kind of hit us with a couple of interesting things towards the end of the event that these last issues like he normally does, because sometimes I feel like when we give this book a hard time about like some of the shit going on in it, we'll come back and we'll be like, yeah, I don't know. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, that was a really solid issue. So I hope he still has some surprises in store for us, because this is kind of like falling apart in the middle of the event. It's just like, it becomes less and less important and fun. And yeah, it's just a mess. I feel like at this point, like you said, like this all feels like this could have been resolved in 2 issues, this event. And I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's going to actually hold any weight by the end, or if there's going to be any, there's not really high stakes, let's say here. So yeah. I don't know. I kind of felt like betrayed by how this, this event has gone, because at the start of it, I was like, yeah, I'm in. Now I'm like, maybe not. I don't know.
Backing away slowly.
I'm like that Homer gif where he's just disappearing into the bush. Just like fucking looked like he's about to here in this last scene.
Yeah.
After
That's what he should do.
After he takes down his daughter.
Yeah.
All right, I'm out of here.
Freaking insane.
But yeah, so I'm ready for the next arc. Let's say that. Yeah. What'd you give this?
3.25.
Ooh. I don't know if I'm ready to go there. I'll go 3.5. I'll go 3.5. But yeah, no, not great. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for the books that we were gonna talk about this week. Came out. Let's quickly look at the solicits for DC Comics for May 2024. Let's take a look at those. So these are comics coming out for from DC Comics in May, and we'll go over some of the covers and some of the books that'll be coming out that month. Let you know what we're interested in checking out here. And shout out to comicreleases.com. We're not affiliated with this site whatsoever, but it's the site we normally use for solicits. Runs well. He updates it pretty good. The only thing I'll say is sometimes when we're looking at the covers, they're not up to date, but some of them aren't actually released yet. So it's kind of hard in that sense with the solicits. But yeah, make sure to go check out wherever you order your books from, or other sources online sometimes have better up-to-date kind of cover solicits. But this always kind of does a good job and gets out there early enough for us to cover it on this site. So yeah, so definitely check it out. Okay, here we go for DC in that month of May. Batman 147. Yes.
I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I'm in still.
Yeah.
Some good covers there.
Yeah. The Boy Wonder #1, which is a new DC Black Label with Damian as the focus, 1 of 5 issues.
Maybe I'll read it. I like the Black Label stuff, but
also, I don't know. I might buy this. If not, I'm definitely going to probably try out the first issue, like you just said, or reading it digitally, because this is getting a lot of buzz because this artist is like a new up and coming artist, this Juni Ba. I think he's done like a lot of like more creator owned work prior to this. So this is them trying to bring in like a new interesting up and coming artist that maybe hasn't really done a lot of big 2 stuff. So yeah, maybe this will be pretty good. I don't know, but this is him writing and drawing. So yeah, we'll see. But this, I'm seeing a lot of buzz and hype for this book. So it might be worth something picking up. I'm not sure. Detective Comics 1085. No, I think this is about to end though. Rom's run here. I think May or June or something around then.
Batman, it's been a long one.
Yeah, Batman and Robin 9. No. Batman the Brave and the Bold 13. No. Nightwing 114. Yes.
Yeah.
And you're back.
But wasn't it like, from what you're saying, I think Tom King and Bruce Redondo or something?
Bruno
Are
Redondo.
they both leaving?
Yeah, this is apparently they made a post about this. This is apparently going to be the last arc of the character, and it's seems like it's going to be one of those fall from grace, like Daredevil Born Again type stories, where like it's called Fallen Grayson, and he's seen in the like it looks like Himalayas or something here, and he looks disheveled. So I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen to him during this arc.
The solicitation doesn't do it any favors. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
but he's afraid to jump or something still. Come on.
Yeah, but this is Bruno Redondo returning to the title, obviously, who's kind of made his name off of stuff that Tom Taylor and him have done together, and especially this series. But we've been seeing him on Action and stuff lately, or Superman title, and doing some other big things for DC. So he's coming back, I guess. This is apparently supposed to be the final arc, I think, of Tom Taylor of this run on Nightwing. So, you know what? It's been a good run, but I think it's good because this way he's not overstaying his welcome. Because sometimes these acclaimed runs, you can be on the book for like 5 years and you peter out so bad at the end of the arc, you ruin it, right? And so I don't want that. So I'm okay with them ending it here. So I've enjoyed this run. I know Chris has begrudgingly liked it at times, even though he did love the last arc. So yeah. Poison Ivy 22.
Maybe I'll read it, but I've been off buying this for a while.
I like this Frank fucking Cho cover right here. That's a nice cover. I might have to pick that up.
Maybe. He doesn't do too many free covers.
No, exactly. And this is one of those. So I think I might actually be grabbing this cover just because of that. So there you go. I might be picking this issue up just for that. I do like his art. Harley Quinn #40. Yes.
Yeah, I'll probably buy this too.
That's a pretty sick fucking
Oh,
cover.
that's why I was gonna get this one. I think it's the lyrics or something.
Yeah, and that's a regular cover. Oh man. Yep. Well, there's two covers that got me for DC, the more expensive ones. Yeah, I'll pick that up. Catwoman 65.
Yeah, there's some good covers here too. I think it's that Pablo Villalobos or
Yeah,
something.
right there.
He's
Yeah,
good.
that's
I
the
don't know. I like his covers. They're pretty sweet.
yeah. Nice covers always. Birds of Prey number 9. Yes. You off this
I'll
one?
just read this one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm off.
Making a big mistake, man. I what's worrying me though is how it says art by Various. What the fuck is that?
Not encouraging.
Yeah, no, I'll say that. The Birds Search for Barbara Gordon. Okay. Yeah, I'm in. I really like the book. Outsiders number 7. No. Red Hood the Hill number 4. No. The Penguin 10. I think I'm going to continue reading it online, but I've dropped the book. Like I might read it digitally, but I've dropped it. It was too fucking slow. Christine was recently reading it this past couple of days because she's way behind on a bunch of books, so she was reading it, and she said the same thing. She's like, "I'm like 4 issues in, they're still assembling this team of his." I'm like, "I know, it's fucking like this is ridiculous. Like, come on now." Batman: The Dark Age number 3. Yes, yeah, I'm in on this.
Yeah, I'm out.
Action Comics 1065.
Yes.
No, I'm out on this. Oh, this is part of the House of Brainiac?
Yeah.
I'll probably be reading this. I won't be picking it up, though. Oh, it's a Lobo. Yeah, that's a cool cover. Look at that. Superman 14, I guess, number 4.
Yeah, I think it's running between all these ones.
Yeah, I'll read it. I'm not going to pick them up, though. You're going to grab these?
Yeah.
Well, let's hope it's a good storyline. Seems interesting so far. Power Girl 9, is that part of it?
No. Yeah, they tied in there. I don't mind that. I think that's the A cover there. That one's not too bad.
Okay, so you'll be getting this. Suicide Squad Dream Team number 3. No. Batman Superman World's Finest. Ugh, yes.
I don't know. I might jump out of this one here again.
Yeah, because this is
it's all full of those mites, and that annual that had the mites in there, that didn't do it any favors.
No, I didn't like that. That's why I'm like, oh god, they're gonna run with this story. Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm sticking with it, but I'm not looking forward to this story. For the first time, I'm not really looking forward to one of the stories in this series, so I'll stick with it for this one. So
hopefully it's just like a issue or two, just kind of a breather before they move into another good arc.
Yeah. All this plus the March of Legion of Doomites and an absolutely adorable weapon of mass destruction in this startling second installment of the latest World's Finest epic. Okay, yeah, so hopefully it's not long. Sinister Sons number 4, no. Kneel Before Zod 5. Are you reading this now?
I might read it just online. There's supposed to be some big things happening, but I think that's all just hype.
Okay, Wonder Woman 9, yes.
Yeah, some great covers here, though.
Yeah, that's a really nice one.
That one, I think the next one's good. I just want to buy even that one there. If that was a recover, I'd be hard pressed to.
That's kind of like a Spider-Man, like you know what I mean, like
the one where he's like we're trapped under the whatever. But I don't want multiple issues though.
No. The Flash number 9, no. Green Lantern.
I might get the one Flash cover. Is that one there? Yeah, I think the third one. That's a pretty sick cover. I don't have many Flash covers.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That one?
Yeah.
John Jang. And then Green Lantern 11, Chris. Look at this. The main man.
Yeah, I think he's put in there. Maybe that cover. That's a good a good logo.
Yeah, it is. Green Lantern War Journal, no. Titans 11. I'll probably continue reading it online, but I'm not picking it up.
I guess it could be in their new arc by now. That Beast Wars stuff should be all over by now.
Yeah, it is. Says Titans against themselves, whatever the hell that means. Oh, with the help of the twisted Dr. Morrow. That guy's the guy who created the Metal Men, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's a different doctor. He's one of those evil scientist characters, though. So that could be interesting. Shazam number 11. I've been liking
Maybe
this.
read it.
I might read it, but this also looks like they're changing the people writing it and drawing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that now. Blue Beetle number 9. No. Green Arrow 12. No. I think this is supposed to be the end. I don't know if it actually is anymore because they say that some things are going to be miniseries and then they're not. This was supposed to be the end of the series. It says finally the family reunion. This is it. Okay, yeah, for the last year. This might be the end of it. Suicide Squad, Kill Arkham Asylum. You still on for this?
I might read it. I don't think I'll be buying it though.
Last issue of 5 of 5, it looks like.
Yeah.
Batman Dylan Dog, no. John Constantine Hellblazer Dead in America. Probably read it online. Batman Gargoyle of Gotham, yes.
Is this still part of the series? Because this is like a whatever, a noir edition or something.
No, so they do 2 editions every time it comes out. Remember, there's a black and
yeah.
There's a black and white version, and then there's
so it's like just a reprint, just in black and white. Then
yeah, it's the same issue.
Yeah.
They show one of them's just a scan of his like pencils, like his inks and stuff like that, and one of them's the color. I actually grabbed both because I like his art. So yeah, but yeah, that's what that is. So, yeah, I'll definitely read that. Batman First Night 3, no. Batman Scooby Doo, Looney Tunes, Primer, Batman and Robin and Howard, and then you got some facsimiles. I think that's it. Yep, that's it this week, this month for May. Not too much. And then let's quickly look at Image, see if there's anything interesting here from the Image solicitations since we're here. And then stay tuned next week, guys. We'll look at the Marvel ones when those are available. Okay. This sounds interesting. Ain't No Grave, number 1. This is written by Scotty Young, art by George Corona, who I think is the same fucking artist that's supposed to be doing the Transformers, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to take a look here. But this is like a Western, which I'm really kind of down with. It sounds really good. I might pick this up. It says this Unforgiven style journey is an original macabre Western fantasy macabre. I don't know how you say it, Western fantasy tale for mature readers, told through Guillermo del Toro-esque lens. Ryder put her violent past behind her when she fell in love and became a mother, but that was before she learned it was going to be taken away. Now she'll have to pick up her guns once again and ride to kill the one who's behind the threat, which just happens to be death. Nice. Sounds good to me. The genre-bending adventure begins in this double-length first issue. Yeah, I think I'll check this out. It sounds good. 5-issue miniseries. I'm down with more Western stuff, aesthetics in the comics. Blood Squad 7. How about this, Chris? This seems like 90s fucking Image here.
Maybe we'll take a look at this.
Might be interesting. Oh, this is written by Joe Casey, who just did the new Dutch, the miniseries that's come out. So yeah, it looks like he's in the Image 90s kind of comics coming back here, which they've been doing between this and I guess Local Man a little bit here. This looks good. Energon Universe 2024 special one shot. Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
With a Daniel Warren Johnson fucking cover. I don't know what the hell is going on there. Him and Megatron throwing down. Got to go with that cover.
Cool.
A special new printing of so this is gonna be a new printing of the Free Comic Book Day 2024 special. Yeah, so this might be just a reprint, but honestly, if you don't get your hands on that book at Free Comic Book Day, maybe try to grab this because this is going to be featuring 3 all new stories from the Energon universe, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Void Rivals. Yeah, this is gonna be good to pick up. So I'll get it. Even if I get the Free Comic Book Day, if this is the cover, I'll grab this. That looks cool. And a series I was excited for, a new Rick Remender mini series for once. He's not known for those all so much. Gromance, number 1 of 7. This is about I think skateboard culture in the early 90s when it started, or late 80s or whatever. So I'm into this. It sounds like it's going to be good. Him and Brian Posehn, the comedian, comedic actor. 2 best friend outcasts navigate the Sacramento suburbs of 1984, where they find a home in skateboard culture and punk rock. On one side of the coin, Gromance is an authentic look at 80s skater culture, a snapshot of the generation that turned skating into a worldwide phenomenon. On the other, it's a heartfelt coming-of-age story that follows 2 friends from troubled homes as they navigate their damage in an era where no one cared. Yeah, I'm all in on this. This sounds good.
I'm part of that era where no one cared.
There you go. What the fuck? Lego Ninjago Shatterspin. They got Lego books coming out from Image now. Wow, they're really picking up some interesting licenses now. Weird. I bet you that's a Robert Skybound. Yeah, this fucking Kirkman, he's got Universal Monsters and the Transformers, and now he's got Lego. He's really putting that money where his mouth is these days. That fucking Walking Dead money, eh?
Yeah.
Monolith 1 of 3 looks kind of interesting. I don't know what to think of that, but looks good.
Maybe.
This is a Spawn book, I think. The origin of
I'm out.
The origin of the hulking Hellspawn is finally revealed. Yeah. They tried to trick us with these names. What connection does he have to one of the most savage of his kind, Omega Spawn? Interesting. His first encounter with Al Simmons in this 3-part miniseries. So there you go, all you Spawn fans like Chris out there. I'm picking this up. Whisper Queen, number 1 of 3, Chip Zdarsky. This is a return to a one-shot that he did called White Trees like years ago. This is a mini series. This is a good fantasy book that he did. He's doing it with the same artist. This is worth checking out, I think. 1 of 3. Yes, totally in on that. Whisper Queen. And then he's also doing the White Trees one-shot here, both issues of the Acclaim Fantasy miniseries. So for anybody who missed it and wants to check out this Whisper Queen, looks like they are republishing both the one-shots that they did years ago here in this White Trees. Both of the issues for the first time. Yeah, he just did 2 oversized issues of this book a few years ago, and then they never returned to it. But it looks like that's what's happening with this new miniseries. This might be worth checking out, Chris. You might like this. I don't know. It's a good Zdarsky book. It's $6 for this, and it reprints both the issues. Pretty good. I think that's it. Cobra Commander, the last issue. I don't know if there's anything else interesting here. Oh, that's a sick cover. I'd get that one. Deviant 5 of 9, Drawing Blood number 2. This is the Kevin Eastman book. It sounds like it's semi-autobiographical about his downfall after making a whole shitload of money doing Ninja Turtles. Fish Flies number 6. Yeah. How about this? You reading or picking up any of this Geiger, Chris?
I was thinking about it, but I think I might just read this online.
Okay. Geiger. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be reading it online. Holy Roller is almost done here. 6 of 9. Kea 18, yes, I'll pick that up. Local Man 10, yeah, definitely gonna read that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got like an Aspen type cover there by that cheesecake artist. Yeah, that's kind of like them doing a homage here. Napalm Lullaby by Rick Remender, yes. What else here? Red Coat, yeah, I'll probably read that online. Rook Exodus. I don't know. I'm still on the fence whether I'm not going to pick this up, but I'm definitely going to be reading this. This is probably one of the ones that piqued my interest the most out of that thing. Sacrificers is back here. Sacrificers 8.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, definitely picking that up. Salmon Twitch, Spawn Scorched, Spawn Transformers 8. Yes. Yeah, George Corona is the artist on here. Well, I hope he already has that other book banked with Scotty Young, because I don't want to mess up the this book coming out on time.
Yeah.
Universal Monsters, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, I'm probably gonna read that. Void Rivals 9 with a fucking Transformer on the cover. Oh shit. Yes. It's the first Energon Universe appearance of everyone's favorite triple changer Autobot, Springer.
Ooh.
Springer.
Little triple changers.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him. World Tree 10. I mean, I think I'm dropping this in issues, honestly, unfortunately, but
yeah,
and that's it. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this week's comics that we want to talk about here. Sorry, hold on, throw it off. All right, that's gonna do it for the May solicitations for DC and Image. Stay tuned for next week. We'll go over the Marvel ones, which should be out by then. But yeah, let's take a look at what we're gonna be reading next week, Chris.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the list here. I'm not sure if I pulled Daredevil 6, but I'll probably read that, see what's happening at Doctor Strange there. I think I've edged Spider-Verse number 1. There's a variant cover that I really liked, so I think I'm picking that up. Got the Rise of Power X2, definitely reading that. I think there's a variant cover for, it's a Greg Capullo cover for Hulk 9. And Ultimate Spider-Man 2, of course, and X-Men 4 or X-Force 49. Definitely getting that. And let's see what DC's got for us next week. Batman 144. I think World's Finest 24. Catwoman 62. I'm not sure if I pulled that or not. I think I got the Nightwing, Superman 11, and Wonder Woman 6. So yeah, I guess a bit of a bigger week, and
Yeah,
looking forward to a few of those ones there for sure.
really solid looking week of books I am picking up. Yeah, Batman 144. You said Batman, Superman's World's Finest as well. 24. That's issue 24. Nightwing 111, Wonder Woman 6. Then we got Cobra Commander #2 coming out next week.
Well, yeah, definitely read that.
Kea #16. Oh, sorry, no, that got pushed back. That's not coming out no more. Cobra Commander 2, Rise of Powers of X #2, Ultimate Spider-Man 2 comes out next week. That's going to be a big one. And then I got Zorro, Man of the Dead #2, which was a really good first issue, actually. So yeah, by Sean Murphy. Those are ones I'm actually just picking up now. Just looking at the list of things I might read online. Let me just take a quick scan through here and see what's going on. Here, let's see here. X-Force, like you said. For sure, I'm going to read that one online. What else do we got here? Look at DC. Anything from Dark Horse? No, it doesn't look like it. DC, we got... I think that might be it from DC. Just trying to see if there's anything else. Maybe John Constantine Hellblazer. I might read that or just wait for the trade. Superman 11, possibly. That comes out next week. Oh, Titans #8. That I'll read. Yeah, I'll read those online. And let's see here. Image. We got Cobra Commander already mentioned. Oh, fuck. Big book next week. Firepower 30. Last book. The last issue of that series. So I'm definitely going to be reading that one digitally there. Firepower #30. Holy Roller 4. Oh, Spawn 350 comes out next week, Chris.
Well, yeah, I think I'm picking that up. Hopefully get a chance to read it.
Yeah. And then what else? Coming in from Marvel. I think I'm done with Daredevil. Gods #5. Probably done reading that online. Incredible Hulk #9. I'm done with that. These are just books I think I'm not reading even digitally anymore that I previously was. Spider-Boy, no. Yeah, I think that might be it, honestly, for Marvel. I think it's just X-Force 49, honestly, things because a lot of those books are books that I feel like I've dropped and I started reading digitally and now I'm not so interested in them even digitally.
Yeah.
So on a bigger week, it's kind of like it's not worth it for me to check out some of these, but we'll see. But anyways, that's going to do it for what we're looking forward to reading next week, guys. All right, Chris, our favorite books of the week here. What do you got?
I don't know. It's a tough week. There are all a lot of decent ones, but unfortunately, the good ones have been ones that I've called before. I think mine are, well, I guess if you go by my scores, it's going to reflect that, but I'm either between Wolverine or Transformers. And I don't know. I might skip to Transformers.
I'm also going to give it to Transformers. Yeah. Yeah, it just edged everything out this week. Honestly, like you said, there was a pretty good across the board kind of consistency this week where I think they were all pretty decent. But this just edged out because like I'm we're all in on the Energon stuff right now, and it has been pretty solid. And I think you take that and you pair it with the DWJ art, this is going to get a little edge out a little bit over ahead of the other things. And I agree with you. Wolverine was probably the other front runner I had along with this. But yeah, I mean, again, but the Action Comics was good this week. And even that Wolverton Station, that was that creep show. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, there's some good stuff this week. Just I think this just edged it out a little bit this week for me, the Transformers. So yeah, I got to give it up. Transformers 5, guys, are both of our favorite books of the week this week. And stay tuned. We will see you again next week. Thank you, as always, to Chris. We'll see you guys next one, guys. And yeah, thanks.
All right. Cheers.
Later.